A beloved professor once told a story from his days in graduate school. He worked in the library, reshelving books, the perfect job for a graduate student, to spend your days in a library surrounded by shelves crowded with things to learn. One day, as he pushed his rickety cart through the aisles of books, he paused and noticed the number of books on each shelf and the number of shelves in the library, and he crumpled to the floor and wept. He would never be able to read them all. He would never master all the content in his own field, let alone the many other worthwhile fields of inquiry. And if he could never learn it all, if he could never master the content, then what was the learning all about anyway? During my own years in college, I spent my summers working as a backpacking guide in the Colorado wilderness. Each week, I would lead a new group of high school students into the mountains to hike and camp and climb. On one hike, a string of students trudged along ahead of me as we wound through the forest toward timberline. The weight of my pack pressed on my shoulders and hips, and my boots thudded softly in the churned soil of the trail. Occasionally, the rugged summit of Mount Antero would startle us as we broke out of the trees into a meadow. Aspen leaves rustled in the wind, and squirrels chittered from the branches. I had climbed mountains most of my life, but I had never before felt that same contentment, satisfaction, and joy. I looked again at the line of students struggling up the trail in front of me. I had loved the mountains a long time, but here was the difference. Now I was sharing all I'd learned and loved about the wilderness with someone else. Learning can become a mad dash race to read all the books and master all the theories, the learner greedily swelling with retained information. Teaching, however, can heal the teacher from this intellectual dropsy. Rather than clinging selfishly to what's been learned, the teacher releases it and experiences the freedom and the joy of sharing. Seneca, a first-century Stoic philosopher, captures what I've learned about teaching. In one of his many letters, he tells his student Lucilius, "I'm glad to learn in order that I might teach. Nothing will ever please me, no matter how excellent or beneficial, if I must retain the knowledge of it to myself. And if wisdom were given me under the express condition that it must be kept hidden and not uttered, I should refuse it. No good thing is pleasant to possess without friends to share it." I remember reading Seneca's letter for the first time, sitting alone in my cubicle among the shelves of books in the library. Thank you, friend, for giving me the chance to share it.
So